The Sunshine State, Florida, acts pretty shady when it comes to street vendors. A recent Florida law actually forbids these entrepreneurs from operating within 300 feet of brick-and-mortar competitors. The Institute for Justice, a great American law firm, is now taking on the city of Hialeah, Florida, defending vendors' constitutional rights to pursue their lawful operations. Joining us now is Elizabeth Price Foley, the executive director of the Institute for Justice, Florida. It's a pleasure. Welcome here.
Great to be with you, Judge.
It's almost hard to believe that the city of Hialeah would enact a regulation that basically says to people in street carts, you cannot be within 300 feet of a stationary brick-and-mortar competitor. You can't put anything on the ground, and you must keep moving continuously. You can't come to a stop. Does the law actually really command that?
Sure it does. I mean, these are just it's pile upon pile of senseless regulation, all of which is simply designed to stop healthy competition between these street vendors and brick-and-mortar stores. And as you know, Judge, that's just not a legitimate use of government power.
I don't know if you've ever been to the building where we are on 6th Avenue and 47th Street in the middle of New York City. It is the mecca of street vendors. You can buy almost any kind of good and even many commodities that you want right out in the streets. You have great choice. These are entrepreneurs. They work very hard from dawn to dusk. It's about as American as apple pie. Why are they blocking it? Because it's impossible to be a street vendor if you can't sit still, if you can't stop. Why are they blocking it in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. We can't quite figure it out either because they haven't articulated any basis for this. And the only thing we can discern is that it's just a blatant maneuver to stop healthy competition. I mean, think about it. This law says that if you're a street vendor, you can't operate within 300 feet, that's basically a football field, of any brick-and-mortar store that offers the same or similar merchandise. That's like saying that you can't operate a McDonald's next door to a Burger King. We all know that that would be unconstitutional, so why is this any different?
All right, this is obviously some sort of protectionist legislation. It is apparent that the brick-and-mortar shops don't want competition. Does the city admit to this? Have you filed a lawsuit yet? And if you have, what do they say in their reply to your allegations?
Yeah, we've already filed our lawsuit. It was filed on October 13th in the state courts in Miami-Dade County, and we have not yet received a reply from the city. So we don't know yet how they're going to defend this law. For example, I suspect, given the Institute for Justice's previous vending litigation around the country, that one of the things the city might say is that they're enacting these ordinances for public health and safety purposes. But take, for example, the provision of this law that requires street vendors to be in constant motion. It requires constant motion even when the vendors are operating on private property with the permission of the private property owner. So if you have a vendor, for example, in the parking lot in front of the Home Depot, this law requires them to effectively sort of move around the parking lot very slowly at like 2 miles per hour. And we know that that doesn't make any sense. In fact, to the extent that it does anything, it makes it less safe, not more safe.
I think you'll win this. The statute should be enjoined. The government should be prevented from enforcing it, and then eventually it should be invalidated. Elizabeth Price Foley, good luck. Keep in touch with us because we want to follow this case. Thanks for joining us.
Will do. Thank you.